Okay, I call to order the September 6th meeting of the Wilton Town Board. We will begin, as usual, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Supervisor Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Stryker.
Here.
Councilman Bogardis.
Present.
Deputy Supervisor Lamb.
Here.
Councilman McEachran.
Here.
Okay, the first part of the meeting is our public comment period. We do have some folks that have signed up. First is Pat Tuz. I just want to remind everybody there's a 3-minute time limit.
To Amanda Court, that's who I'm in. So I just want to again comment on, since this is the 200th anniversary of Wilton, I thought that the events were a very well put together series of events, and I can see that everybody really appreciates the uniqueness and the history of this town. That said, some of the recent buildings in the town will make this unique town not so unique. And I just feel compelled to speak about the Cumberland Farms. It's a giant addition to Maple Avenue. And I just want to say, do we really want Maple Avenue to turn into another Route 50? Because I do, if I remember correctly, I think that the zoning laws, and this is going back to 2010, were relaxed to allow more lighted signs and more chains along that stretch of Route 50. It would be a shame to have more chain stores, more lighted signs all the way up that route. There's still time, because there's a lot of stuff for sale there, to reconsider the zoning and maybe, go back to the way it was and make it, I always viewed that stretch of the town more for local businesses. And maybe we could attract more local businesses and more restaurants, which really would add value to our community and our home values. So that's all I got to say about that. Next, I wanted to make a comment about Eric Rosenberg. He is sometimes unruly and unorthodox, because I have been on the receiving end of that, and but I had to work through it, and I do realize that he has a lot of value because he's a smart guy, he works hard, he's very caring about the community, I was sad to see that the police came. I wasn't here, but I hear the police came, and I think it got a little out of hand, and it's just not necessarily. He works hard. He works at the food pantry. He's on the board of shelters of Saratoga, and if you listen to him, he makes some very good points. So he's not a Democrat, and because of me, probably he's not a Democrat. So in no way is his behavior political. I don't want you to think that. And I think that you might really appreciate him, and you might be better with no raised voices, but if you listen to what he has to say. So thanks to everybody.
Okay. Thank you. You had that time perfectly. Next is Dave Bushin.
Thank you. My name is David Buchin. I live at 201 Heritage Way, and I am the chairman of the Wilton Republican Committee. Last year, the town of Wilton had the most competitive local election in recent memory. 5 of the 6 local offices that were on the ballot were contested. The Democrats' goal was to give the voters a choice after a number of years without running candidates on the Democratic Party line. Both the Wilton Republicans and the Wilton Democrats put up good candidates. Public debate was held, campaigning was spirited. On election day, voters made their choices. The residents of Wilton chose the people that are now here What does the Wilton Republican Committee look for in a candidate? We endorse candidates that support limited government, low taxes, and fiscal restraint. We endorse candidates that support property rights, managed growth, and effective and efficient services. We endorse candidates that work hard, are responsive to the citizens, and are of good character. We endorse candidates that are community-minded and that are interested in maintaining the high quality of life that we have here in the town of Wilton. Wilton voters chose our endorsed candidates, and for that show of support, our committee is grateful. At the 2017 board meeting, my counterpart, Pat Briscoe, the chair of the Wilton Democrat Committee, congratulated all the candidates on a well-run campaign this year. She said all the candidates displayed such good character, that is something that is so much more important than what party you are in, and something that's sorely lacking in many elected officials. I wholeheartedly agree with Pat and echo her comments. Over the past year, I've gotten to know Pat, and she is committed, smart, hardworking town chair. Although we may disagree on various policies, I do not doubt her or her committee's commitment to the town of Wilton. At this time, however, it's important that we all respect the will of the voters and the will of the people and the choices the voters have made last November. Voters will have an opportunity to revisit their choices every 2 years, and next year we will again have local elections. In the meantime, let us all work together to make Wilton the best it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
And we have Eric Rosenberg.
Almost love it. Eric Rosenberg, 16 Broad Lane. First of all, I'd like to thank some of the members of the board. I had an opportunity to meet with you and speak with you about some of my questions and concerns. I think they were good discussions, and I hope we can continue to have these kinds of discussions in the future. However, it's also important now to turn some of these discussions into action. Whether people like it or not, Wilton is no longer a small town, and it is only getting larger. And it just isn't appropriate in some instances to run things the way they were when we were a small town. Moreover, the fact that things have been done the same way for years does not mean it's the right way to do things into the future. As everybody knows, most of my attention has been focused on the manner in which the planning and zoning boards are making decisions. According to Mark Shackner, our town attorney, from some of the documents I've received, decisions of the planning and zoning boards are to be made solely on information which is presented, reviewed, and discussed at open public meetings, and are to be made on the administrative record. Application, documentation, supporting materials, public comments, written and verbal, discussion among members, applicants, and the public. I've been going to the meetings. I've asked about procedures. I've asked about documentation. I've looked into the files, in particular with regard to renewal of special permits. There are no procedures. There is no documentation in the files. I don't understand how any board can be making a decision on anything without having documents presented to them and documenting the file. And besides being good business sense, there's a number of other reasons to document, file, and have procedures. Without procedures and documentation, there is no transparency in government. There is only secrecy. No procedures and documentation gives rise to claims of bias and favoritism. Without procedures and documentation, there's no way to know how or why something was done. People should be able to look in a file today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now and know why decisions were made. Without procedures and documentations, there is possible exposure to town officials who would not be able to clearly establish how and why something was done if some allegation is made. One would think having official procedures in place and requiring that matters be documented would be a no-brainer, yet there continues to be resistance to this. One last quick issue and question. I've not gone out looking for issues to raise. I go to the meetings, I do a little homework, and these simple issues just jump off the page. Yet frequently I'm the only one in the room who is aware of the issue. I think I know why. The root of every issue I found has been the same. The planning and zoning boards are not being provided with information they need to make decisions. Due diligence hasn't been done. Basic information has not been obtained. Inspections have not been made. State laws and local ordinances are not being complied with, and so on. Sometimes it seems that things are just being made up. At the root of every one of these issues is that the zoning officer at the town of Wilton has not done his job, and the evidence is overwhelming. So here's my question. Why does the town of Wilton continue to employ a zoning officer who doesn't do his job? No one seems to hold him accountable. Mark, why aren't you doing these things? I asked about this man, and people seem to be afraid of him. Why are we employing a man who does not do his job? Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Okay, the first order of business is the minutes pending from our August meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve pending minutes from August.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the Board of Assessment Review, reappointment.
Thank you.
William Campola has served on the board for many years. His appointment is up as effective October 1st, and the extension would be through September 30th, 2023.
I make a motion to reappoint William Capola to the Board of Assessment Review.
I'll second that.
I got a quick question. Do we get any kind of report from the Board of Assessment that they're recommending?
No, the only thing I receive is that they've taken the mandatory training.
Okay.
And you've contacted
I did,
Mr.
yeah, I did
Campola, and he
speak to him.
wants to be reappointed. Okay, so we have motion and second? Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Okay, under committee reports. Any committee reports? Okay, I've got a few things. They're really not committee reports, they're just kind of announcements. There's 3 signature bicentennial events coming up the month of September. The first being on the 16th is the Wilton Historic Home Tour. It runs on the 16th from 10 to 3. And the self-tour guides are available at the museum, at the Historic Society Museum. You can pick them up that day. And there's several really interesting homes, and I encourage everyone to take part and have this opportunity to view these homes. They're open to people that live in these homes, have opened up to all of us who care to visit their homes. On the 20th, we're burying a time capsule. It's actually in the lobby out there. There's different documents that we are going to be placing in there. The ceremony is going to take place at 3 o'clock. It's going to be buried out in front of the court building by the flag. And then on the 23rd is the Taste of Wilton, which is a really new event that will bring together a collection of farms, restaurants, wineries, distilleries under a tent at Gavin Park. It should be a great event. I encourage you all to attend. It's all free. And then the last event of the year will be in December, and the tickets will go on sale for that event at the Elks Club on October 1st. I'm sorry, what, Nancy?
The end party, what date?
The 29th, it's December 29th at the Elks. I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned the date.
Mark, can I just mention something about the food pantry real quick? Hi, everybody. I volunteer at the food pantry, and they do a great job. We do a great job of servicing those in our community who are less fortunate. We could really use some more volunteers to come and help us pick up groceries at Hannaford's and other things. So if you are in the mood to volunteer and really help out and work the organization, you can call over to the pantry. And again, we really can use some help. We're really short-handed.
Yeah, the Taste of Wilton
Would you put
event,
something
actually,
on
the
the
proceeds
website?
from that go to...
Put something on the website if any volunteers for the pantry.
Yeah, but the Taste of Wilton event, the proceeds will go to the Wilton Food Pantry.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
So those are the 3 events coming up this month. So I encourage everyone to attend. They should be all very good. I did have the map. Anyway, the booklets for the self-tour are available. I did have some here, but, oh, here it is. They're right here. But they're available at the Wilton Heritage Society for Sunday the 16th. And on your way out, if you look on the left, there is actually the time capsule where, and the items that are out there, all the souvenir type items, and there's a whole lot of stuff that's going to go in there. So that's the 20th at 3 o'clock. The public is welcome. Jeff, Controller's report.
Okay, the first one of the 2018 budget transfers that need approval.
Any questions on the budget transfers?
On the cemeteries, I see you had an email trying to get some headstones. Is that the motion too?
Yeah, they're the ones that's on the cemetery over here on the...
Can't take care of it.
Yeah, you know, we did the other cemetery last year. This is a cemetery that's kind of the main entrance into the town, and they really need to be cleaned up, set up, so it'll probably go into next year too, because he's only can do so much at a time.
I'll make a motion, we approve the budget transfers.
Second it.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Okay, now we have one personnel item right now. The town board needs to ratify their decision to appoint Lisa Clausen into the vacant full-time senior clerk position. That's within the building and zoning department, effective August 28th, at a starting rate of $16.89.
I make a motion to appoint Lisa Clausen to senior clerk in the building department, effective August 28th.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I just want to go back to the committee reports for a minute and the bicentennial events. I inadvertently forgot, there's a proclamation I'd like the board to pass tonight that will be also put into the time capsule. You have it before it. I just take a minute to read it. This is whereas the town of Wilton, New York has established on April 20th, 1818, and therefore the town celebrates this bicentennial with a series of events throughout the year. The town of Wilton has a rich history, and we recognize the men and women of our community who were instrumental in the founding of our town. Happy 200th birthday to the town of Wilton and its people. And whereas the year 2018 will be a year of remembrance and celebration as the town of Wilton takes pride in its bicentennial. And whereas in commemoration, the town of Wilton planned a series of special events designed to encourage the citizens of this township to pause, reflect, and remember our history. And whereas the town of Wilton was founded on April 20th, 1818, and held its first town board meeting in March 1819. And whereas as a community, the town of Wilton has witnessed tremendous growth, which has created the quality of life we enjoy today. And whereas a bright future lies ahead in the town of Wilton for our children and grandchildren because of the forethought and hard work of many. And proclaimed, I, Arthur Johnson, supervisor of the town of Wilton, do hereby proclaim and dedicate the time capsule in celebration of the town of Wilton's 200th birthday to be buried on September 20th, 2018. And we're here on truth in our hands and fix the seal of the town of Wilton. So I want the board to ask the board to pass this proclamation, and it'll be part of the time capsule that we bury on the 20th.
Put forth a motion to approve this proclamation.
Second.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. We do need an executive session involving 3 individual potential personnel appointments that we need to discuss. So we need to adjourn to executive session. A motion to adjourn to executive session.
I put forth the motion to adjourn into executive session.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Pocket.
Thanks. How do they do it?
All right, your glasses are on your shirt.
Okay, I need a motion to go back into a regular session.
Make a motion to go into a regular session. Second.
Okay, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, we have 3 actions to take. Jeff, you want to outline them?
Sure. The first one, Lucy Harlow, who is our Executive Secretary of Planning, has submitted her letter for retirement, which is effective September 28th. And so with that said, I guess the town board should accept her letter of retirement. And with
Put forth a motion to accept Lucy's letter of retirement.
All in favor?
Aye.
And in doing that, I'm requesting that we promote Amy De Leon into the position of Executive Secretary Planning at a grade 6 at a step 3 rate of $22.14 an hour, effective October 1st.
Make that motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Amy De Leon to the position, upgrading her to $22.14 an hour.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Okay, next one has to do with Ross McNeil down at Gavin Park. I'm requesting to appoint provisionally Ross into the Assistant Rec Director position at the park, effective at today's date, September 7th, at a grade 6, step 3, which is $22.14 an hour.
So motion to appoint Ross?
I'll put forth a motion to appoint Ross at a grade 6 at $22.14 an hour as Assistant Rec Director.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Was
All in
it
favor?
provisions on a test?
It's a provisional test, so he has to take the test and pass it.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved.
Okay, next, I just submitted my letter for retirement to the town board, which will be effective October 4th. It will be my last day of work, following the town board meeting.
Thank you for the great job you did for all those years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So,
Make a motion, we accept Mr. Reel's letter of retirement
With many regrets.
with no regrets.
Second.
I'm voting no.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
I oppose.
Wait. 3 of us just did.
that's why I don't think you really need a motion on that, because that's something that you can't oppose.
Sounded
What if
good.
everybody voted no on it? Is that like forced labor?
$13.62 an hour.
So, with that vacancy, we had a committee and we went through a thorough interviews with a number of candidates, and the one candidate that rose to the top was Maria Moran. Maria's here in the audience tonight.
Will you stand up, Maria? Introduce.
She was trying to keep a low profile back there.
Maria is a CPA, and she also works for the New York State Office of the State Comptroller's Office, and she is a town resident. Maria's official start date, I'm recommending to the board, it will be October 22nd at an annual rate of $88,000. So the town board should appoint Maria to the town controller's position effective October 22nd.
Make a motion. Go on.
2 motions.
Go ahead. I make a motion to accept Maria Moran to the town controller's position effective October 22nd
88,000.
at $88,000 a year.
I second that motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Maria, welcome. Look forward to working.
Thank you for applying.
You also want to mention that I'll be here. You guys gonna...
Who needs you now?
All right.
Part-time, grade 1, 16, 17 an hour.
$4.
Per diem. Thank you
That's
again,
it.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other business come before the board?
I just would like to thank Lucy Harlow and Jeff Reel for their years of service and dedication to the town. You guys have been great resources for me as a new
great
person.
job.
I've already informed Ms. Moran that I am a question asker, and I will be in asking questions to help further educate myself in this position, but I just want to thank you, Jeff, and for being such a great resource to me.
Thank you.
You will have one more meeting.
I was going to say, you guys have one more meeting with me to put up.
That's for cake and ice cream.
But thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Nice job.